WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 at 10 in high definition.
Tornadoes hit parts of the Local 6 area, destroying homes, businesses, and forcing many to run for cover.
Heard that wind and heard everything going on, and just thinking, dear God, please don't let this building fall on us.
Through your videos and pictures, we're seeing the moment tornadoes hit parts of our region tonight. The most destructive among them hit Graves County, Kentucky. State police confirm new tonight 10 people suffered what they're calling non-life-threatening injuries in Mayfield. Those people were taken to Jackson Purchase Medical Center earlier today. Here's the twister's path. It started on Lewis Road south of Fancy Farm and appears to be a continuous path to at least the Marshall County line, possibly further. Rick Shanklin with the National Weather Service says a preliminary storm assessment puts the damage at an EF2. That means it had winds up to 135 miles an hour. They'll, of course, continue their assessment tomorrow. Our team coverage begins tonight with my colleague, Local 6's Jennifer Horbelt. She joins us in Graves County. Jen?
You know, Todd, you mentioned about all the damage out here, and you can see behind me why it is so amazing that there's only 10 people with non-life-threatening injuries tonight. This woman's home, her yard, is just completely covered in debris, and that debris is actually the home across the street from her. That home no longer stands. We do have some updates tonight from the Red Cross. They say that while they really appreciate that everybody wants to get out there and help, they do not need volunteers at this time. They've got to actually come out to scenes like this one. They've got to assess the damage before they know exactly what they need. We also spoke with Georgianne Lakovsky. She's with West Kentucky Rural Electric. Their crews have been really hard at work today. When we originally came to you earlier this afternoon around 4 o'clock or so, 6,000 people were without power. The update now, 709 people without power. Of course, their crews are continuing to make repairs in the northeast part of Graves County. They're going to actually work through the night to make sure that all members are back up and have the lights back on. Real people impacted by this, and they're going to have a lot of work ahead of them. Robert Bradfield joins me now. You know this. You actually spoke to the woman who lives in the home behind us.
I did speak to her, and she tells me she is lucky to be alive, and you will hear from her in just a moment. But the damage throughout Mayfield and Graves County is significant and severe. Take a look at this. This is people's sightings of their homes. This stretches from block to block here in Mayfield. And from what I saw today, it really is strangers helping strangers. And many of these homeowners tell me they will be cleaning up this debris throughout the night. Late Tuesday night, it's the sounds of chainsaws that fell upon Wayne Drive in Mayfield after this tornado damage fell on Cindy Purcell's front yard.
I was worried about all the neighbors because I seen their house was completely gone.
These volunteers spent hours cleaning up, and many say they will continue tomorrow. Purcell's home is still standing, but there is damage. She doesn't know many of these people who are helping, but she's grateful for their time.
Well, I'd like to thank them for all their help, and I really appreciate everybody that's came.
It's a different story across the street at Walker Automotive.
We have been here ever since the tornado had went through.
Melinda Driscoll is pitching in to remove anything that was not damaged. She knows the owners and says their livelihood was destroyed in seconds.
This is what he supports his family with, his wife and his children.
Driscoll says it's times like this, when cities experience their worst, that people show their best.
There has been a lot of volunteers. They've been coming in from everywhere.
Purcell will be staying at Winfield Inn tonight, but she says she will be taking it day by day. And Jen, workers at Walker Automotive tell me they will also be here overnight to make sure there are no looters.
And really, people are just shell-shocked. I spoke to Cindy as well, and it is this feeling of where do I even begin? But so many people coming out to help them.
Yeah, it takes time to set in, really, as we've seen with Harrisburg and the Brookport tornadoes.
Yeah.
The sort of shock sort of mellows away, and then really the cleanup has to begin.
Yeah, Robert, thank you. And you talked about that business. We're going to go live now to Local 6's Ashley Sanchez. She is standing by at a business called Grandpa's Attic. Many of you that live in the Graves County area probably know it. It's right off Highway 121. Ashley, they've got a lot of cleaning up to do, right?
Jen, 4 employees here at Elder Cycle were injured, but the owner says they're all going to be okay. But I still want you to take a look at the damage this store is dealing with right now. There's so much rubble out here. You have random drawers, even envelopes. Now, all of this came crashing down on these guys within minutes. So the owner was too emotional to talk, but I was able to speak with his aunt. This is what Evie Elder saw after she got a call. Her nephew's store was hit by a tornado and she rushed to the site.
When I got here and saw the devastation, the first thing I wanted to know was where was my family at.
Her nephew, brother-in-law, and 2 other employees were trapped under this rubble. 2 men driving by stopped and helped them out. Elder says what was a motorcycle parts store was her nephew's livelihood. Today, family members worked to salvage anything they could in the hopes the family can rebuild.
Each one of them had a guardian angel sitting on their shoulder, because by the devastation you can see, it's hard to even think that somebody could walk out of it.
It's too dark to see right now, but the neighboring store, Grandpa's Attic, was also heavily damaged, so Kentucky State Police are patrolling the area, watching out for any looting. Live in Graves County, Ashley Sanchez, WPSD Local 6.
Ashley, thank you. 2 of the employees will stay, we're told, in that hospital recovering overnight. Several law enforcement agencies will patrol the area with damaged homes and businesses. The Graves County Sheriff, Dwayne Redmond, says Kentucky State Police and the McCracken County Sheriff's Department are stepping in to help.
We're going to be patrolling these heavy hit areas to make sure that there's not any looting going on at some of these businesses and homes that's been destroyed. So if you don't belong there, don't go there.
Deputies are, of course, urging you to just stay off the roads tonight if you don't need to be out. Redmond also asks that you avoid looking for any damage. The tornado uprooted trees across Graves County. Lindsay Wilkerson says her grandmother was alone at her home in Clear Springs when the tornado came ripping through the yard. Wilkerson says it was a mess, but the cleanup was quick thanks to some neighbors.
When I pulled up, there were 3 or 4 tractors going and men from everywhere already with chainsaws cleaning things up, so it was pretty cool to see.
Wilkerson says they got most of the cleanup finished today, but will still need to do more tomorrow. For many of you, your child was in school when the tornado hit Graves County. A viewer sent us this video outside of Graves County High School. The county sheriff says hundreds of students' lives were spared as the twister just missed the county elementary school.
It went just a little bit north of the Central Elementary and the board office and completely leveled 2 buildings just north of Central Elementary. And, you know, if it would have hit that Central Elementary school or the board office or, you know, that campus, we'd have had a lot of deaths here today and a lot of injuries.
Now let's follow the path of this storm into Marshall County, Kentucky. We told you about the damage in the Van Zora and Harvey communities. Local 6's Blake Stevens has been in Marshall County since the start of the storm, and he shows us why, despite lots of damage, people are thankful.
Homeowners in Marshall County are glad to be alive. A tree falling through your bedroom ceiling, a trailer turned upside down, storage sheds torn to shreds, cars and property ruined. That was the reality for some people in Marshall County. Mark and Jill Winkler lost everything.
The route that I took, I never seen anything. I was like, there can't be that bad until I pulled up and I said, okay, it is pretty good.
Except their home, which looks basically untouched.
Yeah, that's amazing. We must be doing something right.
Rachel Thurston says 3 cars got ruined in the driveway, but her most prized possession, her family, are just fine.
Me, my 2 kids, and my husband were all in my daughter's closet with a mattress on top of us.
The same story for Mike and Carol Franson, who told me they thought they might die.
And the limb went through the roof into our bedroom, probably 5 feet away from where we were laying on the floor.
It was faith that got many through the storm. It's just stuff to Mark, stuff he says can be replaced.
It's over now, but hundreds of students were in the path of these dangerous storms. This is why school leaders opted to hold the students over for a little while longer to keep them out of the face of danger. So a lot more than just property could have been damaged today in Marshall County. Blake Stevens, WPSD, Local 6.
The Marshall County Sheriff says that area of Marshall County suffered the most damage. Amazing to hear people recount their stories today. All right, we'll turn now to Local 6